Hello peeps and welcome to the best role-playing game that we've ever played that forgot it had to do role-playing or that it was a game. One which was harder to cover than even most, as the developer claims they put 4 years of work into the game, and you can see some love in the game. The game claims to be a 90s graphic style, but you see none of those tropes here you'd expect from 90s games, with very low poly counts or having to make things a bit cartoony to cover the low graphics. Instead, I would describe this as unpolished modern graphics, but for a budget game of £7, I'd say the graphics were fine. Okay, I couldn't tell the difference between my hair or whether it was a grease slick on the back of my head, but for large worlds, the graphics are fine. The animations are terrible, but we come to expect that from indie, with even mouths not moving during dialogue and sliding where movement doesn't match the animation. I mean, that is all bearable. The voice acting is fine for 80% of the game, and when it doesn't, it is so bad it will at least make you chuckle, with nearly every NPC having random dialogue added, something which does add to the world building here, and you can see the effort in adding this much dialogue, even with the humans and elves having different dialogue and accents. But that's the skeleton, the bare bones of a game, which is all I was judging a game on. I would say, yeah, this is worth it. But the game claims to be a role-playing game, and you are presented with something that appears to be decisions, but they are just fake decisions, like the last line in dialogue. But this never changes the outcome or anything during the game, meaning you cannot role-play your character's interactions in a meaningful way. All you're going to hear is just slightly different dialogue, and other examples of this include a beggar who asks for food you can give or not. Either choice makes no changes to the world. In fact, one spot the game seemed to actually ask me to make a choice. Would I attack some orcs and help a village more, or move on with my journey? I helped the village, but this had no effect on the ongoing missions. It essentially just asked me if I wanted to skip this fight or not. And the other ways of role-playing that can come across would be in the choice of layout, but no, shield and sword is the only options you are given. A leveling or classing system, this could also be called a sort of role-playing, but that also doesn't exist. And I would go as far to say that I couldn't argue at any aspect of this game when offered, I would class as role-playing. The maps on offer are sizable, with 2 towns, forests and snow levels brought across well, with some off paths, but you're offered no reward for exploration, so the spare spaces in the maps just aren't utilised. Without items or unlockables or even grinding levels on offer, there is no reason the game gives you just to not to follow the main path, other than if you don't want the game to last only 20 minutes. And even with trying to see everything in the game I completed it within an hour and a half. Funny story for you, I can try and say I'm not a typical gamer, but I got so fed up with the linear role of the character that I even tried to attack people in town, and all that happened was this. So let's go to the other part of what would make a good role-playing game, and that's a fighting system in the game, even though generally associated more with action games. With a shield and sword game, it's something you're going to expect. But you do not have a block, a parry, or dodge systems to utilise. So I start off on the principle of hit, wait for them to swing, and then move again to hit again. But the animations of the attacks seem to be interrupted by movement, when at other times this seemed to have no effect, and this hit and miss was really starting to wind me up on the active swing. But this all ended when I found out that the heal button was not tied to any consumables, could be used at any time, and without any cooldown, which turns every fight into hit them as you hit the heal button. Here is the hardest boss fight in the game.
Die, filthy human!
Here's the easiest boss fight in the world.
Come at me, you piece of filth!
No, I haven't edited that. And here is a fight with a bunch of standard enemies. The whole game fight system is pulled down with this, and there is only 2 strings on the bow of a game like this. And without having roleplay that doesn't exist, and a battle system which is cheapened down to this simple 2-button process, the game goes a step further, and that is dick teasing. Yeah, you heard me right, like that terrible time in our lives when you met someone who just kept promising without delivering. The results we have here is this is the hero of heroes of dick teasing. Think that dragon was bad? Here is a game building to a big fight. Oh wait, you're not involved in that fight. Here's another big fight that might actually challenge you. Oh wait, you don't get to do that one either. And when you made it all the way to the end of your dick tease trifle, you have the dick tease cherry on top, which is the ending of this story. Here's the big end boss fight. Are you going to fight him? No, they just retreat. As for the underlining story of the game, there did seem to be some potential here, with a nice one little twist in it, but with no complexity added to the characters other than here's your hero who wants to be a hero because if he doesn't he's going to die. Here's bad guys who are bad guys because they're bad guys, and here are dwarfs who are just friendly to everyone. There's no intrigue or depth of characters on offer. And if I found skeletons attractive, I would be all over this game. But as the meat of the game is toxic, it's fitting for the rotting corpse that this game presents. But anyway, you go off and enjoy the world.
My weapons will make the orcs shake in their boots the minute they see them.
March, my legions, to return. Ah! Today, we take the capital.
Well, hello there, young lad. Fancy seeing your retain around in these parts. What brings you to the coldest place on earth, lad? Well, you got a tough road ahead of you. Orcs have blocked the entire pass. That's why we're camped here right now. I reckon they have the same ideas as you.
I hope these orcs have been taught a good lesson.
Well, I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and remember, if you want to be a completionist with your game knowledge, hit the subscribe button now.